So, first of all, I would like to propose you a small game to think what can be in common in 5 or 4, I don't remember exactly, different occupations. So please find or try to find 5 different characteristics for marketing specialist, doctor, teacher, and journalist. Any thoughts from the audience? Or, for example, yes. Yeah, this is a good point. Any other?
Communication.
Bingo. That will be definitely one of the points during this presentation. During my session, I would like to say about 5 different options or 5 different characteristics. The first one, sorry for the spoiler. The first one is a collaboration. And I definitely think that working effectively with others is one of the key characteristics of what we will talk about. And for these 4 different occupations, it's definitely like one of the mandatory things. The next one will be communication, and it's about ability clear to explain your ideas or explain the information or give this information to others. The next one, it will be about the empathy, or in other words, it's understanding the needs of others. The fourth, it will be decision making, make decisions based on different inputs. And the last one, it will be about the adaptability. So how you can be flexible, how much you can be flexible in different circumstances or different points or different questions or problem solving. I believe if you look once again to this different occupation like marketing specialist, doctor, teacher, or journalist, you definitely can match the different options from this characteristic. So if, in example, for marketing specialist, communication definitely like one of the key points, because you need to communicate your marketing idea quite clearly, not only to your stakeholders, but as well to the audience. In case of the doctor's, empathy can be like one of the key. But if you go through all of these examples, definitely you will find all 5 characteristics for each occupations. And today, definitely, we will talk about the product managers, because it's quite obvious. We are meeting product peak meetup. So product management will be like one of our key point of view. During the session, we will go through these 5 characteristic: collaboration, communication, empathy, decision-making, and adaptability. And what exactly I learned about these different 5 things based on my experience. The today's session called The Human Skills They Don't Teach in PM Courses, and what I wish I knew a few years ago. My name is Olena Shybaieva, and as Marcin said, I work as a product manager at Ocado Technology. A small disclaimer, because I know this title can be a little bit controversial. This presentation reflects just only my personal experience. I'm not against about any kind of the courses, and I will explain you why. I believe that courses for product managers can help you to learn or to remind different things really faster, or you can identify new things that you can bring to your real life experience. But it doesn't matter that courses for product managers is everything. I strongly believe that 5 skills about what we will talk during the session is the most important. And during the session, I will not learn you, or I will not teach you how to write CV or how to use the different frameworks to pass the interview process. So why me? Marcin made a small spoiler, but my transition to product manager starts from being a public relations manager in Ukraine. I worked in a PR agency for a few years, and after that I moved to more technology world. I started working at a company called DataArt. It's an outsourcing company. And I know we have a few guys from DataArt here on at our audience. I worked there as an employer brand manager, as an HR marketing specialist. I did a lot of different events. And after that, I decided, well, I want to do a little bit more than marketing can serve me, because I want to have some kind of the influence into the product. But I decided not to make the transition directly to the product management role, and you will see in a minute why. But I decided to start from the product marketing role, where I basically, I worked at No4Jobs. This is a job portal for mostly IT specialists or like IT companies or IT guys. And one of my goals, it was to bring know-how jobs to new markets. So I started working as a product marketing and still doing like a few things around the products. And finally, I landed here in Ocado technology, I'm downgrading a lot and starting once again from the internship, just because I had a really, really big imposter syndrome. So I didn't believe that I can do product management and I have enough skills. But let's talk a little bit about what statistics tell us. According to the report that was made in USA a year ago, 25% of people convert to product manager from engineers, 23 from program managers, 17 from business and operations, for example, being a business analytics or product ops, 14, and this is especially my case, converting from the marketing area, 7 from design, for example, being UX, and 14 from others. And I know that here should be at least one person who joined from definitely other area. And I see Krzysia on the audience. Krzysia is my colleague who is working together at Ocado Technology. She moved from the absolutely another area. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was about being a speech therapist. Thank you a lot, and big applause to Krzysia. Showing this specific statistic, I would like to show you as well that it doesn't matter from which exactly role you are switching to the product managers, you still can achieve great things. You still can be a good product managers, because product managers, fundamentally, it's about the way how you're thinking, how great you are in the communications, how big empathy you can give to others, and about a lot of different things. I strongly believe that you always will remember your first product. I will show you the case. This is a screenshot from 2023 directly, but I created this specific platform a few years before. It was about the conference. I mentioned that I worked as a HR marketing specialist and I did a lot of the events. So that was one of my first product. I built from the scratch the portal for conference. The idea of this portal was not to interrupt and not to involve developers every single year to change the whole things like title, speakers, descriptions, and everything. So basically we built two things. We built an internal CMS which allow us to put the information really quickly, and we built the whole front end things which will be like an interface for the customer, where customer can register to see the agenda and have other useful information about what is going on in terms of this conference. So let's start talking about the collaboration. And a quick reminder that collaboration is about the ability to work effectively with others. Let's go with two things. So first of all, the structure of this presentation will be the point or the skill with which we'll be talking about. Then we will see how it's in real life example. At this case, specifically organizing the events, you can try to find what you are doing, what you can after revert to the product management. And then I will show my personal lesson learned during this couple of years. So about the collaboration and real life example. The example is organizing events. So like, imagine that you saw, you basically saw the example of the event that I showed you before. So if you need to collaborate organizing the events, definitely you will do some kind of talks with vendors that will serve you a catering. You need to find the good vendors. You need to say directly when exactly it will be served. You need to collaborate with vendors because like vendors sometimes can be really challenging. You need to design something, for example, the placards, the style, the communication as well, and everything. Definitely you will collaborate with any venue organizer. So in this case, like for today's meetup, we're hosting at Ocado Technology, but it shouldn't be like a meetup at some kind of the company. It can be the bigger conference where you need to rent a hotel. So this is like definitely different level of the challenges, but still this is something that should be done. And you definitely need to find the speakers and to say them directly, okay, our main point for this presentation will be this or that, like our main direction will be this or that, but still you need to organize the speakers. Everyone needs to remind and remember when exactly they need to attend the event. Do not forget about this, to be prepared, and everything. In terms of the product management, what you can transfer. So you still need to manage stakeholders and collaborate with the stakeholders or clients. So it depends on the type of the organization. It's called a little bit differently, but still, you definitely need to talk to engineering and collaborate with engineering a lot, because you as a product manager, you definitely can have a great, absolutely amazing idea, but someone needs to help you to implement this and bring it to real life. You need to talk a lot to UX and collaborate a lot with UX, because interface should be nice and friendly. You definitely need to talk a lot with other PMs, and they will show you why in the next examples. You need to test your application. You need to talk to tech writers or marketing department to explain your feature and adapt this feature appropriate to your clients or stakeholders. Let's go to the real-life example. Unfortunately, I cannot show you the real example from the production environment, but let's imagine. The recent features that we delivered, it was about the promotion. Something that I didn't mention to you before, I work in the promotion department, so my main product area is about how to set up the different promotion in e-commerce, how to apply this promotion, how to calculate it right, and how to do that customer will be happy at the end and will not complain like, guys, this promotion didn't apply. So one of the features that we recently developed, it was about the promotion by payment method. So basically, you will have 10% off if you pay by bank A, or it will be $1 off if you pay with specifically Visa, or it can be a free gift if you will pay with a MasterCard. So that's basically how it's worked. Sounds simple, at least I hope so. But in the practice, it means that we need to involve and integrate two different domains. The one, it's where I'm working as a promotion world. The another one, it's about the payments, because somehow we need to identify this payments method or payments card or Visa or whatever. So that was a lot of the collaborations, and it was a lot of the collaborations because we need to involve 12 teams, 12 plus teams basically. I hope you can agree that it's truly a lot. It's affected all customer journey, because applying the promotion is not all. You need to show this promotion appropriate on, for example, front-end pack of the product, or like somewhere where it will be visible or noticeable for the customer. And definitely it as well creates hundreds of different edge cases that we need to mention, and without any collaboration it will be impossible, because I have no idea, or I had no idea at the time, nothing about the payment. So my understanding about the payment, it was, okay, this is a bank A, this is a bank B, thank you a lot, that's it. So I need to ask a lot of different questions, and I was truly appreciate when our colleagues bring me an edge cases and think, hey, but at this edge cases, it will not work, so what we will do? And the collaboration is about like receiving these questions and trying to find altogether the answer. The biggest lesson I learned from this collaboration process and this really huge feature is that close collaboration can save functionality and not allow you to fail. The reason was because we developed it definitely like not 1 week, and the discovery takes a little bit longer. So definitely there are a lot of different things that happened, and one of the example is, for example, it can be holidays or illness. So I definitely feel better when I know that my delivery manager or my technical lead or my UX definitely know how the whole functionality should work for different parts of the platform. So no matter what happened with any one of us, definitely other will be able to cover the topic and not to stop and not to waiting for another one. And I believe this is a key point about the collaboration. I also bring you here like a book that by accident calls like continuous discovery habits. I believe like a lot of product managers definitely know about this. It focuses mostly on the discovery process. However, they also highlight, this book also creates highlights about why collaboration is needed and why it's so much important. Let's go to the next one, communication. Someone from the audience mentioned the communication is a key. I also think so. And it's not only about the ability to clearly articulate the ideas and the information, but a little bit more. So back to the structure, live example, organizing the events. Definitely all of you here, just because you saw somewhere an invitation. You see it on Meetup or our LinkedIn, someone refer friends. So there were a process of the communication. You need to go to this Meetup because of, I don't know, and so many reasons why. You need to, as organizer of event, think about the registration process. You need to think if it's a free meetup or free conference, or you need to sell the tickets. If you need to sell the tickets, so how and for which price exactly. You need to have a code of conduct for bigger conference, definitely. And for example, like one of my lovely part of the communication, it's agenda. You need to directly and clearly communicate what the customer, in this case, audience, can to expect. In product management world, it's absolutely totally the same, but in a little bit another context. One of this, it's a clear goal. And you definitely need to articulate and communicate clear your vision and why we are doing something and what for. The clear documentation, I a little bit mentioned during the collaboration about this, but still I believe that documentation is really, really important. And one more thing, it's clear communication if something is failing. And a part of the communication that why we are doing something, the communication if something is failing is one of the most important part. I know that like on every course, by the way, everyone is talking about this, but in the practice it's definitely more harder to communicate like bad news than you can expect. So what was my examples and lesson learned from the communication part? I just remind you that I worked in a PR agency for a few years and a marketing specialist. So I think that I thought at least at the time my communication is on a like really great level. I've never think that it can be still so hard. And I felt so much. So the first rules is that I always remind myself when we are starting doing new things, always explain the rules 5W, who, what, when, where, and why, and depends on the stakeholders, and depends on the clients, depends on the group with whom I communicate. I include or exclude this or that W. So sometimes I need to communicate why and when. Sometimes I need to communicate why and what exactly. So it depends on the audience. Another one, it's the same vocabulary. If we back to the example about the promotion by payment method, as you can imagine, as I have no idea, nothing about the payments, I communicate in like really basic level. So for me, payment method is like everything. I do not diversificate something like payment method, issuing bank, installments, or whatever. So I need to learn a lot about the vocabulary, and this help us to be aligned and to try to understand things in the same way. I felt a lot during this communication process, honestly. So like, this is something that I'm still learning. I still learn a lot of vocabulary, internal one, how we are calling the feature, how we are calling this or that component. So it's really important. You need to communicate clear and in advance if you have a problem. My parents teach me from the beginning that if you have a problem, you need to come to us and say us directly, you have a problem, so we will help. I never think that it will be so hard to transfer it to the product management role and to say my manager, like, sorry, I have a problem. I will not deliver this functionality on time. I need few quarters more. That's really painful. But what I learned, if I say it in advance, I definitely will have my manager as my best friend at this case, who will help me to solve this problem and to go through the different challenges at this process. So this is something that I remind myself all the time. If I communicate clear to my managers that I have a problem, he will try, or she, it depends on whom I have as a manager right now, they will help me to deal with this. It's obvious for you, but it's not always obvious for everyone else. This is a little bit referred to the vocabulary, but giving you an example, in promotion world, we operated the terms like partially complete promotion, incomplete promotion, or complete promotion. For me, it means that it depends on how many items I add to the basket, the promotion is applied or not. But it doesn't mean that the same words will mean the same things for you. So be sure that your audience definitely know what we are talking about and do not be afraid to explain it twice, 3 times, 5 times, so many times, how many times it will be needed. Write everything down, definitely with common sense. Thanks God, definitely different AI tools help us to make a note from the meeting. I had honestly write everything down, but promotion by payment method definitely teach me a lot to do this. This is my biggest discovery output right now. It's around 100 pages. It's covered just only the happy pass. I still believe that I will have a little bit more time to write down like every single decision. It will solve us at least 2 weeks in the testing process. So lesson learned. I hope next time I will do it better. Clear documentation is a key. And the last one, if you don't know how to communicate decision or vision, start with writing this document. I know that in Amazon, they love to create first document and saying something in the public. I always think that like, come on guys, why I need to spend like many hours to write something? Because it will be definitely easier to go to Martin, to you and say, Martin, I have a great and brilliant idea. The idea is this and that, let's do this. But when I start doing these exercises with writing, it really helped me to understand that, okay, so not all my ideas are really great. A lot of them will definitely fail. So it helped me to estimate the ideas and to verify like, the first draft if something makes sense in general or not so much. Let's go to the next one, empathy. Kindly remind you that it's understanding of needs of others. So if your organizer is an event, you're definitely thinking like, what will attendance will feel when they will join the event? So other words, have you informed you as an organizer where is the restroom? By the restroom is here and at the end of the space. Do they know how to access the event? Definitely all of you attended the event, so you know how to access the space. In product management, you have the same, but in a little bit other way. I do the exercise in this way. I, as a customer, and I try to pretend being a customer for different areas of our platform, and ask, does this discount, like in my specific area, does this discount apply for my basket or for my order or not so much? The another one, I'm trying to be as a client, does the system is enough flexible to set up a different type of the promotion? As an engineering, do we know all dependencies? And in mostly cases, it's about the requirements as well. As UX, is it easy to apply the discount or no? I hope you see the similar things between organizing the event and being product manager. You still need to pretend being someone else. And a little bit more about the examples. I love absolutely the wording widzimy in Polish language. It's unfortunately almost never exists in any other. So I translated it like I feel like. So I need to say that I feel like or widzimy is never working or like almost never working. Or you will have a specific data that you can confirm this widzimy in the future. The one of the golden rule, ask as many questions as possible. I'm normally starting like new meetings with the people whom I do not know. I'm saying like, sorry, I will ask a lot of stupid questions. I'm so sorry because I do not know your domain. Don't say like about the stupid question because there is no stupid question. All question is valuable just because you need to know a new domain or a new functionality or a new product. Always ask why. And this will refer a little bit to the clients. We have an absolutely brilliant client who is never say us, what is the problem? They saying, this doesn't work, sorry. And asking why several times, the last time it would take me like 8 iterations. Finally, they say what exactly they want or what exactly was the problem. Annoying, I know. It's annoying a lot, but still it's work. If you cannot imagine start doing, and back to the promotion by payment method, one of these, this specific functionality is really popular outside of the Poland. So let's imagine you need to go to the Asia and to see how it works. Like, imagine how it works. I cannot imagine. So I started doing manually. I try to apply different discounts for my fiction basket. So I try to do it because I have no idea how it works. Let's go to the decision making. Sorry, it was too fast transition, but still. So sometimes you need to make a decision And as the organizer of the event, you need to make a decision. For example, what will happen if you plan the outdoors event, but unexpectedly it will rain? Or what will happen if some speakers becomes ill, how you will adjust the agenda? And I know from the different meetups that sometimes it happens. As a product manager, you have almost the same challenges, but in a little bit another perspective. You have metrics. Based on what you can decide, you can have editing, cutting the scope, or you need to decide what to include or exclude. You need to make sometimes the prioritization, or all the times you need to make the prioritization. It depends on the type of the organization. You, in my case specifically, as a product marketing, I also need to go the go, no-go decision. And example, currently here on the slide, you see 10 most popular prioritization frameworks or tools. And this is based on the state of the product management report from this year. I need to say that this is absolutely brilliant things that you can use. But my lesson learned from frameworks works, but not all the time. And definitely it can make your life easier, but you need to know how to use it. So do not think that the frameworks will solve all your problem, and what in most cases they teach you in a product management course, a lot of different frameworks. I believe this is my humble opinion, I believe that you can use frameworks successfully if you understand the common sense. And frameworks can help you to make a standard decision and speed up the process. Let's go next. The data is powerful, but I still believe you need always to double check. Currently, I'm struggling with SQL and trying to extract data by myself. I do not believe the data, so I double check it with a data analyst all the time. But then I also ask a few more data analysts if definitely we extract the good data. Sometimes the data isn't enough. Trust your intuition. And I know that I mentioned in a few slides before that VG-Misha isn't a good option. But sometimes if you cannot find the proof of the concept in the data, maybe VG-Misha, this is something that will open you a new door. When you make a decision, note down why you made it. If you ask me why I made some kind of a decision about the promotion by payment method 6 months ago, I have no idea. Thanks God I start writing down the notes, and now I can back and say, okay, we cannot allow to do this or that because 6 months ago we decided this and that because of something. It helps us to back in the time and know why exactly this was one of the points to decide. The decision can be wrong, and that's okay. Just don't repeat the same mistake. This is something that I say myself constantly because I have a problem. For me, it's really tough to fail with something or to make a wrong decision because all the time I am asking like 100 questions. Okay, but if I can do this better, or if I can think or decide in a better way, or if I can count data in other way to have another output. So this decision can be wrong, and that's okay. And this is like the first thing that you need to know as a product managers, and it can be like a motto for at least at the beginning of your working process as a product manager. No blame, learn and move on, which basically is the same as a decision can be wrong. And don't overload the scope, but at the same time, if you cut the scope, please be sure that it will work. As I have in the past, the event management things, and in event management, it's really important to have almost everything doing perfectly. This is something where I struggled because I intentionally, at the beginning of my career, I tried to put everything at one scope and think like, no way we are going into the production if we will not deliver everything. So no, promotion by payment methods teach me a lot. You need to cut in a right way, in the right moment, and still try to go through the whole process and see if it makes sense or not. This is all about the decision making. I believe like all of you have any other tons of comments on this. But let's go. Adaptability. This is the very last section, so we'll go quite fast from this. Adaptability is staying flexible and being adaptable to different environments. And as the organizer of the event, definitely you with what kind of challenges you can meet and where you need to be adaptable when the budget, for example, is cutting. So you need to change the venue, you need to change the speakers, for example, if they are if you need to pay for speakers, for example, or you need to change the catering and so on. We talked about the venue, looking for another speakers, change the registration process, for example, because sometimes it should be compliant with the local law, or changing the communication about your event if something do not work and you have like really less of the registration. In product management, everything is the same. But for example, you have the fast changing environments, you have competitors who definitely in most cases, unfortunately, do faster things that you want to do. New technology that always constantly evolving. And I remember like a few years ago, it was like Java 7. Currently it's Java, I don't remember, 18, 20, 22, something like, you know, it's really, really fast. You always need to be flexible because of the prioritization. Prioritization can be changed. You need to switch between the different topics, sometimes between different areas. And sometimes you need to change the domain. And once again, I will refer to Krzysia, who changed the domain within these 2 years twice, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, just a great, absolutely great example of the adaptability. Lesson learned will be really quick because don't know something, ask a question, try it out, learn from every source you can. And this gives you like a great option to adapt different things. Prioritization can be challenging. This is something was what I'm struggling in the beginning. If I'm saying that it should be for Q3, how come it will not come in Q3? So I'm still learning how to adapt for different challenges, and I need to stop working on something, for example, or I need to start working something quickly with. Another one, competitors, as I mentioned, might do it faster. This is the biggest problem because if you have a really, really big organization, you cannot do something in a few days. It takes months because you need to prioritize, you need to talk with everyone, you need to create some kind of the prototype, you need to confirm this prototype. So not always for bigger enterprises, doing something faster than your competitors is doable, and this is something that we need to adapt and find how to do it faster at the end. And AI can be tricky, it can help, but not always. I truly love start writing my discovery outputs and documentations using different AI tools. But I always remind myself that, you cannot trust to AI. You need to reread and to put as much context as it is, but still maybe it not perfectly yet, work perfectly yet. But I believe that I will learn a little bit more from the next session today. And a small spoiler, Michał Krajewski will deliver a talk, AI-powered product work, 5 use cases that save me 8 hours weekly. I hope it will give me a free Friday after the session. Sorry. Yeah, and the bonus points. This is a statistic that I found from the report State Product Management from 2021. And according to the statistic, just only 8% of the product managers never had imposter syndrome. I believe this is important to make the final conclusion. Don't be afraid to fail. Learn quickly and keep learning. And this is something that I want will be my motto for every single day when I am a product manager. Thank you a lot. And it's time for Q&A.
Yeah, in terms of Q&A, who have questions?
Good evening. Which AI tools do you use?
So currently we have license, and I hope it's not the information under the NDA. We're using ChatGPT, and we have one more tool currently in testing. So we will see how it will work, and as well, I can use Gemini.
And another one, can I? Yeah. Among all the series that you were talking about, adaptability, communication, and so on, which one was the most challenging for you?
Communication, I believe. because I need to adapt first of all. When I moved from Ukraine to Poland, I need to adapt to another cultures, and I need to adapt to another environments, start working into technology companies. And every single day I have the challenge with the communication, because everyone with whom I communicate are different. So I need to talk to you in one way. To my colleague, I need to talk in another way. To managers, I need to talk and adapt with my style of the communication. For example, I need to say, I need to talk with a short sentence, with inputs, without any kind of the waters in between. So communications is always a challenge.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Who's next?
Thank you. My name is Anna, and my question is as following. I missed the first part of presentation. Maybe you've mentioned it, but out of those skills like collaboration, communication, empathy, you didn't mention anything about like sales skills, presentation skills, or tech skills. Did you do it specifically, or you did simply not that important?
I believe that one of the skills that you mentioned, it was about the presentation. I believe the presentation is a part of the communication, because basically when you present something, you communicate your ideas or your vision or what you did. So I included in this part. I didn't have any kind of the lesson learned, just because I'm doing public speaking for many years in different environments, and as working as a PR manager, you need to communicate a lot. You mentioned as well technical skills.
Technical skills, right.
I strongly believe it depends what you want to do. So we have a lot of different companies, not only in Poland, but general worldwide, and you need to have a different skill sets. At my case, it's nice to have a technical skills, but this specific role that I'm currently doing at Ocado Technology do not require this one. But you have, for example, a specific role called technical product manager. At this case, definitely in the requirements, you will find the technologies, knowledge, and everything. But still, back to the communication, I still believe that it's definitely harder to learn how to communicate, because it's a process that you need to learn. And in terms of the technical skills, if you never write a code, it will not be so much simple. But still, like basic things you can understand, or like you learn if you will ask the right questions, ChatGPT or your colleagues.
It's a point of high-level understanding, because you still work with engineers on a daily basis. You don't need to write a code. It depends on the company where you work, obviously. Okay, good. And sales, I think it's also part of communication, I think. Okay,
correct.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
One more question.
I have a question regarding the feature that you mentioned about the discounts, and you mentioned that a lot of teams were working on that, like 12 plus, if I remember correctly. And I was wondering, what kind of methodology did you use to basically, get all those teams coordinated? Was it Scrum of Scrums or something else? And maybe a follow-up to that, was there any person that was like basically a leader, who basically coordinated between those teams to make sure everyone, is working towards a North Star, so to speak?
Thank you. This is absolutely brilliant question, and I love answer for this question specifically. So yes, definitely. I worked with a delivery manager, and I believe that my delivery manager saved my life when we delivering this process, because he was able to cover me for 100%, because both of us know absolutely perfectly how this feature should work. We're both working on the requirements and both working on edge cases. What we did, I wouldn't say that from my personal perspective, but maybe if he will be here right now, so maybe he will answer a little bit better. From my perspective, we do not have any kinds of specific methodology, because all these 12 teams can work in different ways. What we did, we create a stand-up bi-weekly, and then closer to the delivery, it converts to every week stand-up, around 30 or 45 minutes, where I'm going from the pain points, and he helped me to coordinate all the teams. So I wasn't involved into the process asking team if they deliver or not, because during the stand-up, I know the whole status. We had a special document as a decision log, which was a central document for the specific feature. So everyone who wants to know where we are in the process can open this document and see what is going on. apart definitely of the different status in Jira, and so on. I hope I answered for your question, but if you want to know a little bit more, we can talk after.
Ladies and gentlemen, Olena Shybaieva.